Across the bridge, over the creek, and down to Beckford's Hollow. Mind your head, and don't turn back. Lickety-split will follow. The call is about 1 in the morning. I didn't know you were back in town. There's a pause. I don't have her number saved, but I recognize her voice. The slight stutter, the round vowels. Sure, yeah. Staying in my uncle's caravan park for a little while, till I'm back on my feet. At least, did you know I was here? That I was back? Rain beats against the metal of the caravan. News travels an inch. Her concentration lapses for a second, as if she's seen something. Don't you remember? I do remember. At least some of it. I'm trying to organize my thoughts into something that might actually make sense. When her voice changes, grows lower, concerned. You're okay though, right? I don't know what she's asking about. If she's just checking up, or if somehow she heard about my breakdown, about how I ended up chewing my lips until the pillows were brown and crusted with blood, staring at the ceiling until they had to break down at my door. Maybe she's just being nice. I'm fine, Blake. I'm all good. Sure. Swinging by tomorrow. Yeah? It'll at least give me something to do. She hangs up before I have a chance to respond. Good to know she hasn't changed. Still finding ways to get you to do what she wants. Little turns of phrase or action that make her so hard to say no to. I wonder if she's changed as much as I have. If it has affected her as much as it did to me. If she still has trouble sleeping. I hear them in the dark. Someone off the distance singing it. Probably drunk. On their way to camp toilets. Or walking back from the pub. The same song has been sung in this town since I was a boy. Since my father was a boy. The verse changed with time, but the melody never changes. Lickety-split. My phone buzzes. A text. 1:28. Make sure you come tomorrow. I have something to tell you. It's important. The drunkard gets closer, singing louder now, and I think they must have woken half of the side up when they stagger and steady themselves against my caravan. The noise makes me jump, makes my heart start racing. They continue the song, losing the melody somewhere, soldiering on regards, words slurred. Under the branches, through the trees, the flower are touching. Watch your tongue and hold it now. Lickety-split is watching. It reminds me of how we'd sing as children. in playgrounds, the woods, the creek. I wake up early the next morning, wash my hands, wash my meds down with coffee. What did I read to that? Sorry. Wash my meds down with coffee from the night before. Stretch. On the walk to the showers, I see whoever was drunk had vomited just behind my caravan. Shit. Real nice. It's dark, almost the color of ink, and I can vaguely make out the shapes of luffberries and small, dark berries that grew in the woods. Each bordered. I make a mental note to call my uncle, let him know. I walk to Blake's. The walk to Blake's doesn't take too long, maybe half an hour. And it's nice to be out in the morning air. Despite the season, it's cold. Nips my exposed skin between my fingers, under my jaw. As it gets closer, memories start to flood back, half-formed things. After school works, our first cigarette. I ring the doorbell, stand back. Her house is huge, imposing, although empty. I study the vines, crawling up the side, the vast windows on the ground floor, the small windows of her room we used to open to smoke from. The top floor was her parents', although I guess now just her mother's. It's hard to see, but for a moment it seems as if there's something in the top window against the glass. Someone. I make eye contact with her mother, so much older than when I last saw her. Her hair was white, a white mess, her cheeks sunken, eyes fixed on me. I want to look away and focus on the footsteps that I can hear coming in the front door, but I can't. I swear she's mouthing something to me, or to herself. And just as I'm trying to decipher what it is, Blake opens the door. Shit! Isaac! I'm lost for words. It's been so long. Red hair still a mess. Glasses still perched so far down her nose. I'm not convinced she can see out of them at all. Her grin, old teeth. Older though. For a moment I see something in her eyes. A brief sadness. She pushes through, pulls me into a hug. It's been so long! I hug her back too. Too long. I know. I should have moved out by now. But Mum got sick. She's been bedridden. I can't even get up to dress. She can't even get up to dress herself or go to the toilet. I'm cheaper than a nurse, right? Rent's cheap too. She smiles wide, but I can see she wanted to get out of the way. That she had this prepared beforehand. Maybe she even rehearsed it, and that talking about it is painful. I think about mentioning her one mother in the window, the words she was mouthing, but I can't decide against it. But I decide against it. It must be hard enough already. In the same way my body still knew the hills and turns of the town. I still knew her. We knew the rhyme. We knew the rhythm of each other's conversations, of our jokes, our silences. And after 5 minutes, we're talking like old friends. She shows me into the kitchen, makes a cup of tea, offers me some food. We talk a while, until she pauses, chewing her lip, concentrating on something. Then her mind springs into action all at once. Upstairs. I want to show you something. I don't say much. Nod. This way. I leave the tea on the table. I follow her. I have no idea what it is she wants to show me. What it could possibly be. But it must be important. She's acting different. No longer all jokes and smiles. The stairs groan underfoot. And the landing is bare. She gestures to a door. After you. I push it open, slowly, and take a second to absorb what's inside. Stacks of paper piled on the floor, on the tables, plates of food and mugs of tea dotting the floor, whiteboards covered in scribbles of black pen, corkboard on the wall, hues and ancient books stacked under the tables. She moves through the mess with practiced ease, picking her feet up just before they knock something over, bending at just the right time to avoid a stack. She turns to me. Look, I know it's a lot to take in, but I figured, shit. I don't know if there's any nice way to say this. I figured that you out of anyone would have a little more sympathy for all of this. I'm thinking about what she means. What any of this is for. And as if to answer my question, she continues. Lickety-split, the nursery rhyme. I remembered the verse from the night before, the endless shifting verses of my childhood. Who do you think wrote it? She waits, expecting a reply. Look, Blake. I don't know. I don't know if this is... She cuts me off. The verses change. Year on year. They shift. And they change and no one notices. It just happens. I think of the conversation we had downstairs, of how she seemed a little preoccupied, tired. This has been keeping her up, and I'm not sure how much good it is doing, and I've been talking to Michael. I don't know if you guys keep in contact, but he teaches at Manchester Uni now for the linguistics department. The name Michael brings to mind a face, a set of memories, jealousy. The three of us drinking in fields. The shed we built. He's specializing in local dialects and songs. He's been really helpful. She starts going through the stack of papers now, pulling some in her teeth as she flicks through. The verse just changed. These verses just changed. One day the kids are singing one thing. The next they're singing about another. No one knows why they change. Has any memory of changing them? Or has any memory of changing them? It's like they come from some sort of collective unconsciousness. Wrinkles her nose, chews her lip. Now this is where me and Michael disagree. He thinks that they're in response to events, that the readings we have aren't accurate enough, that they're an unconscious response to trauma destined town. She stammers a little, her brain obviously working faster than her mouth. You need to trust me, okay? This looks weird, sure. And this next bit sounds weird, but I'm not making it up. All the deaths that happened in this town and the forest. Hannah Blotton in 2003. Tim Jones, 2007. All the rest, the rhymes predict them. She looks to me, eyes wide now, as she just shared something private, a secret. The look you give when you tell a friend how you really feel, or when you confess. The rhyme predicts the death, Isaac, and I don't know why. If it's a collective pre-emotion, or if there's someone out there that's using us. It's my turn to cut her off now. Blake, this isn't fair. I can't do this. You know I can't do this. I haven't been well. I'm not well. I tap on my temple, indicating where the illness is. I've just recovered. I meant to be taking it easy. All that stuff from when we were teenagers, I couldn't handle it. I don't know if you could, but I can't do this with you. I don't wait around to see if she'll try and persuade me, to see if she's got some way of reeling me in. I thank her for her hospitality and head down the steps out the door. As I open her gate, I turn to look at the house one more time, to see if she's watching from her window. Nothing, except on the top floor, her mother, the same as she was before, but closer to the window now, as if she's desperate to see me, mouthing the same words, almost shaking, her eyes fixed on me, going through me. The walk home takes a long time. I wanted to help her, I really did, and I wanted so much to have a friend again, but I know I can and can't do what I can and can't do. What this will do to my mental health. But it stays in my mind. The way she'd explain it to me. Not just frantic, but almost pleading. As if each new fact about her theory was reason for me to stay. Not to leave her alone in a huge empty house with her mother. I passed the playground on my way back, and stop for a while. The swings, the frame, are the same. Fresh kind of paintings, maybe. But I can still see where we'd climbed, where we'd hide at night, to gaze stolen spirits. And I listen. A few kids are playing, climbing, while their parents sit on the side, watching. And they watch the kids begin to sing. Through the gate into the house, let your friends come near you. Talk if you know what's right. Lickety-split can hear you. The last line makes me feel uncomfortable. Makes my chest ache. I have an image of her mother again. Her eyes wide, her mouth moving as if it's on its own. I could hear Blake tell me about how sick she was. It didn't make sense. The room we were in was below her mother's room. I knew that much, but no. The children continue. The day is new, the day is old, these thoughts are barely crowning. Drunk on rain and stuck in mud, lickety-split is drowning. As if on cue, it begins to rain again, gently. And as I walk, it picks up, the rain thrown by the wind, growing thicker and faster, until I have to lean into it. Thunder. The path turning grey, stone to black. I hurry home, trying to stay as dry as possible, breaking into a little jog. My lungs hurt, and before long, I'm soaked through and out of breath. I hurry home, trying to stay dry as possible, breaking into a little jog. My lungs hurt, and before long, I'm soaked through and out of breath. I stopped leaning back, gulping air down. I haven't run in years, and my body isn't really nearly as up for it as I thought. I half walk, half jog the rest of the way, although when I finally got back to the caravan park, there's a huge commotion. A crowd of people gathered around the caravan not too far from mine. The caravan, I was sure, belonged to the drunken singer from the night before. I pushed through them to go into mine, ignoring the faces they pull at me. That is, until I see him. The story they'd tell after that he fell whilst blackout drunk, slipped on the wet metal steps holding a bottle, face first on the grass, had a dislocated jaw, torn his lips to shreds, and then his face is pressed into the wet mud. He'd been too drunk to pull himself out. The blood and earth made a sort of suction, and you could see the thin scores in the mud either side of him, where he desperately tried to pull himself out. They say he drowned in the mud, not even a foot from his own home. But not really. He drowned in the bottle 20 years earlier. That he was waiting to die anyway. No kids, dead wife. But I saw the body as I pulled it in onto the stretcher. The look in his eyes. Terror. the way his mouth was bloody and his jaw hung loose. No way he'd drowned in the mud. I'd seen faces like that before. Blake and Michael too. I spent so long in therapy convincing myself it didn't happen like that. It couldn't happen like that. And now it had happened again, right in front of me. There was no denying it. I thought of the rest of the day until night came. I called Blake. She picked up instantly. Has something happened? Are you okay? Blake. Yeah, sort of, but it's complicated. Let's just speak tomorrow. I think she cuts me off. Hold that thought. Speak tomorrow, got it. Hold up. Sorry, noises upstairs. Your mum? Probably. She doesn't walk anymore. Sometimes falls out of bed. Help her back in. Go. She hung up. Before I had a chance to interrupt her, to ask her about her mother, to explain what I'd seen. It's probably nothing anyway. I tried calling her a couple of times, but it doesn't go through. I watch news online with the volume loud as possible to drown out the noises from outside. Someone's reporting from the local school on the roof that collapsed in a building in the storm. In the background, a couple of kids mill about, waiting to be picked out by their parents. The reporter moves closer and asks them something, but they seem engrossed in the game. Instead, together, in their small voices, slightly out of tune, they sing, "Now you're here, now you're back, collecting your composure. Lock the door and hold your breath. Lickety-split, Grace closer." I hope you enjoyed the video.